Hello, my dear friends. This week I had a humorous experience, and everything in our life should be or could be a Musar Haskell. We need to take away moral lessons. That's what we call Musar Haskell. And I hope I learned a good lesson. We'll see. Next time it happens, the same situation. We'll see if I learned the lesson well or not. But here's what happened. This week I'm very busy with my Shabbos Haggadah Drasha. Everybody is invited, men and women are invited to hear my drasha. Tomorrow will be the last Shabbos Haggadah Drasha that I'm giving in my career, as far as I know. So this week, I left work early one day in order to have a little bit extra time. I took the path to Newark Penn Station, and I wanted to catch the 6:15 p.m. New Jersey Transit train. And as I'm coming, there's a ramp that, those of you that travel that route, there's a ramp that connects the path to the New Jersey Transit. It was exactly almost 6:15. I had about 30 seconds to catch the train. And whenever you are late, the train comes on time. And whenever you're on time, the train comes late. I don't know who works that out, but that I know for sure that that's the way it is. I have statistical evidence that that's always how it is. So here it was. I was exactly on time, and the train was exactly on time, because that's the formula. So I had around 10 seconds to catch the train. I go down the ramp, and I see the train sitting there with the door open. Baruch Hashem, I could catch the train, and I made a dash for the train. As I'm doing that, this person runs right in front of me, and they jump onto the train before me. Okay, so fine, go ahead. I didn't want to push them away. You go first. But then the person decides, they change their mind because the train was crowded. They decide, they're standing right in front of the door. They think about it for around 3 seconds, which were critical. And then they turn around and they leave. And as they're leaving, the door closed, and I couldn't get on the train. Now, that meant that I had to wait for the next train. The next train was in about, I think it was about 15 minutes. I would have gotten into the city 8 minutes later, because the earlier train takes longer. I lost 8 minutes. I was so upset at that person. The nerve, the chutzpah. First they ran in front of me, and then they blocked the door, and then they turned around, and they didn't even apologize to me that I missed the train because of their obtuseness and intransigence and all those other adjectives, whatever they may be. And I was just so upset. And it took me literally, by nature I'm pretty calm, because if I would get upset about everything, I would go crazy. So I try to be as calm as I can. It took me a long time to calm down. In Pirkei Avos it says there's different arba midos, there's different types of people. Some people get angry easily and they calm down easily, and some people, it's hard to get them angry, but it's hard to get them to calm down. I'm not sure where I fit in exactly, but it took me at least a half hour to forget about what had happened. While I was sitting on the train, I was just so annoyed at this person. So now, afterwards, and even when it was happening, I realized, this is like crazy. This is absurd. How much time did I lose? Around 7 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. That's because of that. I'm bent out of shape, and I can't, and I just couldn't leave go of the emotion. And the Musar Haskell here is that's often human nature, that we don't know how to let go. Just let go. Don't hold on to it. Let go. So it reminded me of a pasuk in this week's parsha. The pasuk says that there was a mitzvah of Trumas Hadeshin and Hotzos Hadeshin. Every night, the ashes on the Mizbeach had to be cleared out, because there was tons of animals brought and a lot of ashes. So there was a special job for the Kohen. One Kohen would take some of the ashes and put them on the side of the Mizbeach, but the majority of the ashes would be V'hotzias Hadeshin, El Michutz HaMachne, the El Malkum Torah. They would take out most of the ashes, they would take outside the camp, and that was where they would leave the ashes to be. So you see that even though those ashes were holy, these were the ashes from the Karbanos, but you can't hold on to everything forever. Even the ashes of Mizbeach, you've got to take out and put them away, or put them someplace else, take them off the side. So in human experience, if you get upset, that's not, the ashes are more important, because those are ashes of holiness. Still, there's a mitzvah of Hotzias Hadeshin. So we need to practice v'hotzias adeshin on ourselves, on our emotions as well. Then when we get upset about something that's really trivial and not important, and 99.99999% of the time, the things that we get upset about are not important. They're just not important. They don't make any difference. So I lost 7, 8 minutes. What difference does that make? I didn't make a better. I wouldn't have made a better drasha if I had the extra time. Believe me. So it was trivial. But so why did I get so upset? It's because I felt chutzpah. I'm standing there. You walk in front of me, and then you block me, and then you walk away. You don't even say you're sorry. You know. Okay, so my ego got a little bit. I was a little bit offended by the event. But it's irrelevant. I don't even know who the person is. The person doesn't know me. I don't know the person. I'll never see them again in my life. If I would see them again in the train station, I wouldn't recognize them. So what difference does it make? It's ridiculous. But for me, it was a great Musar Haskell because it showed how human nature is that we hold on to things. And sometimes they're less important. Sometimes they might be a little bit more important. Most of the time, they're not very important. And the key is to let it go. Oftentimes, I tell people, if you're upset, make believe that your discomfort or your pain or your anguish, whatever it is, make believe it's an iceberg, and let it float away into the blue yonder. So that's how you gotta. If there's a mitzvah of a hotzias adeshin to take out the ashes, which are holy, there's certainly a mitzvah within our own selves to the hotzias adeshin. There's lots of times people hold on to stuff, not just for a half hour or an hour, but they can hold on to resentment for years and years. They're upset about somebody said something, somebody made a comment, forget about it. V'hotzias adeshin. Take out the ashes and bring them michutz l'machana, outside the camp. Don't hold on to them. It's not healthy for your blood pressure. It's not healthy for your heart. It's not healthy for your neshama, and it's not good for human relations. Thank you for listening. I wish everyone a wonderful Shabbos, and once again I'm inviting the entire shul to my Shabbos Hagadol Drasha, which will deal with the theme of how do we cope with tragedy and difficulty and pain when we experience them in life, and how does that relate, or how I would like to show how that relates to the Pesach Seder. Have a good Shabbos.